They needed Pete, not Russ.
Okay.
I'm just saying what the fans are saying. You know, you were once a fan, but your
fans
boys
are very
with them.
fans are very fickle, and social media makes us overreact to everything and very emotional. So it's okay. We'll see who's right in the long run.
In the long run is what matters, you know, in the long run. But I will tell you something. If the Seattle Seahawks end up having a better record than the Denver Broncos, I am gonna lose my shit.
Hey,
it's just at that point hilarious. You're like, come on now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it would be poetic justice to the Seattle fans. But
at that point, you gotta admit the Seattle Seahawks won the trade.
Right, but what happens if the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl in a couple of years? Then who won the trade?
Good evening, everybody. This is the Raw Sports Debate brought to you by myself, Leslie, and my co-host, Michael Steven. Today, we're going to give you our weekly picks, week 5 picks. Also, we're going to talk about the best teams in football right now, the best divisions as well. To start everything off, we're going to actually give a big shout out to Aaron Judge, 62 home runs and still counting. Your boy, Aaron Judge. How you feel about this, Mike? Give us some facts.
Well, 62 home runs. It's the American League record for home runs in a season. The previous one was Roger Maris way back in 1961, Les. So about 61 years ago. There was a famous race between him and Mickey Mantle. Mantle got hurt. Maris got the record of 61, and he was an outfielder for the Yankees. And the previous American League record was Babe Ruth, who hit 60 back in 1927, another outfielder for the Yankees. So that's interesting. Now, the overall Major League record is 73 by Barry Bonds. Mark McGwire also hit 70. Sammy Sosa hit 66. Now, they were all convicted in the court of public opinion that they did steroids. Now, steroids have been around a while, but, you know, Barry Bonds' head got a little bit bigger. Mark McGwire was Sammy Sosa. These guys just went from hitting a lot of home runs to all-time great levels. So some people think that this 62 is actually the greatest accomplishment. It's a controversial topic. I mean, Bonds did hit those home runs, but, you know, either way, the 62 is phenomenal. Now, just so you know, some background, there's an American League and a National League. And, you know, just like the AFC plays more games against the AFC than the NFC, like that's the case now. But before 1997, so before the last 25 years, the American League and National League never played each other, bro. It was always, they only played each other in the World Series. So they played 162 times each, you know, league. Different ballparks, different pitchers, different everything. Right? So the two leagues were separate. So that's why, you know, you compare yourself to the league, and that's why, you know, hey, it's the big deal that he broke the American League record. So that's just some background on it. What do you think?
That's amazing. Well, I was gonna ask you, being that you're a Judge fan, you think he's the best player in the league right now?
So, and I'm not a huge fan. I'm a fan of greatness, and I do appreciate him. And, you know, I think he is the best player in the league. I think Ohtani in LA, I mean, I forget his record right now, but he's got, you know, double-digit wins, and he hit over 30 home runs. So he's an amazing talent. He's a power hitter and a guy who strikes out the, you know, 12 guys per 9 innings, and he's faster than you. I mean, this dude is insane.
There's not a lot of people faster than me.
Listen, he throws 100 and hits 500. He can run pretty fast too. Maybe you can race him one day when you're famous. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, like that's the most talented player. But Les, here's the funny thing. I looked this up yesterday. Judge is batting .311. Now it's good in baseball to hit 300. He's batting .311. That's second in the AL to another guy who has .315. So hopefully he can get him. But he leads the league in RBIs, runs, walks, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, On base just means, if you walk or you get hit by a pitch or you get a hit, that's an on base. If you hit a sac fly or make an out, that's an out. That's it. And Judge is leading in all of that. So it's funny. I went back and looked at, so yeah, he is the best player in the league. But I went back and looked at Babe Ruth's season. This is funny. And he batted .356. He had numbers way better than Judge, right? But .356 was 7th in the league in hitting in 1927 because there was, black players were excluded from the league. Pitchers, there weren't nearly as many pitchers in the league. So pitchers would pitch the entire game. Now you got relief pitchers, people coming in just to face one guy. People got nicer gloves now. So it's like, what's more impressive? Someone batting .311 with 60 homers or .356? Well, .311, man, like when that's top of the line, it's a pitcher's era, bro. So this is a pitching era right now that baseball is in. And he set the record for home runs. So he's the best player in the league, and it's an all-time great season. That's what's cool about it.
Well, with his contract, he had an opportunity to sign a contract beginning of the season and then last year, and he didn't bet on himself. So I think he's going to break the bank. What do you think about the money situation?
I forgot about that. That's a really good point. Yeah. You talk about betting on yourself, man. That'd be like Lamar having 60 touchdowns this year, which could happen.
Which Lamar's, similar situation, if you ask me, in Baltimore going on right now, with Lamar, he could have gotten that deal. If you ask me, they gave guys like Kyler Murray, what's his name? Derek Carr. They give all these Russell Wilson, all these guys, have had good, Russell Wilson's deals based on, his past, not what he was currently doing with Seattle. So, with him, you understand that with Kyler Murray, it was like what he's just doing, So if all these guys can get that money, I think Lamar deserves it, But again, he bet on himself, and now I think he's about to break bank as well. Same with Judge, if you ask me.
What's funny is Aaron Judge he had 52 homers. I think it was his second year in the league. And then he's been injury prone the last few years. So more parallels to Lamar and other situations. The Yankees probably said, hey, you got to show us that you could stay healthy for a full year. And man, he did, and it was a legendary year. So yeah, he did bet on himself. But again, I do understand why the Yankees, gave him a fair offer, but didn't want to give him what he wanted. I get it. You got to stay healthy. In 162 games, man, it's a long season. But
absolutely.
So props to him, man. That was
props
an
to
incredible
Judge. Big shout outs to him and the Yankees. I think they got a shot at the title this year as well too.
I hope so.
Moving forward, we're gonna get into our picks, but before that, we're gonna touch on our last week's picks. How did those picks go, Mike?
It went very well for you. My goddaughter clearly was good luck being in the room with you last week. 12-4, Leslie. That's a season high for wins in a season or wins in a week. So congratulations on that. 12-4 for you. Myself and Carly both went 10-6.
Nice.
So, doing well. So on the season, I have 38 wins, and you and Carly are tied with 33. So I'm still holding a 5-game lead. So I've won 60% of my games, and you two have won 52%. So that number is only going to increase.
That gap is only getting slimmer and slimmer.
Hey.
It's getting slimmer and slimmer. And
the hard weeks are over. The hard weeks for picking the game straight up. I think over. The hardest. They're still going to be tough because it's still early, but it's going to get easier and easier, hopefully.
And speaking of, harder and harder and easier, today being Wednesday, let's get into it. Let's start with tomorrow's game with the Colts on the road at Denver. How do you see this game panning out, and who are you picking?
I'm picking Denver. I
could have guessed that,
No, you couldn't have guessed that. Listen, they're only 3.5-point favorite, which basically Vegas is saying, hey, it's a toss-up on a mutual field, which is kind of scary. Listen, they lost Javonte Williams, torn ACL. This is a problem.
They did.
They lost, I forget his name, on defense. They lost him. He's on injured reserve. My apologies. Very good player on defense. And Melvin Gordon has 4 fumbles in 4 games. Both games they lost, they were catastrophic fumbles. I'm talking fumble right at the end zone to cost them a touchdown, and this one was a return for a touchdown on a drive where they were driving. So I was encouraged by what Russell Wilson did last week. He played well. Unfortunately, a couple of big drops and a couple too many 3-and-out drives. So I do think they grind out this win, but I am not as confident as I was going into the season at this point. The Colts put up a good fight against the Texans last week, but on the road, I don't really trust them that much. I don't think their offense has been clicking, and I don't think their defense is good enough to really cause too much havoc to Denver. I think it's like 27-20 Denver, something like that.
I'm going with Denver, simply because I don't trust the Colts. I don't trust their offense right now, especially with having Jonathan Taylor being out. He's officially ruled out.
Is he out?
This
Okay,
week.
I wasn't sure. All right.
Yeah, he's out. And Matt Ryan throwing that ball that many times is not gonna work. If they have a balanced game, Matt Ryan looks decent. And Colts were on my radar on teams that are on a decline this year. So I'm not, betting highly on them. I think they'll win games like, at home against Texans. A fluke game against the Chiefs, things like that. But I'm not betting high on them this year. I think the Denver Broncos win this one. I think Russell Wilson, like you said, he played better last game, but every game that they even won, he didn't, play like the Wilson that we know him to be. So he's yet to have that, 4 touchdown, 5 touchdown, 3 touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, that game where, he puts a stamp on it. Yeah, let's ride, He's yet to have that kind of game. So this year, I think, they're due for one, and it could be this week. Actually tomorrow night. And I think I'm going with the Denver Broncos on that one.
Yeah, he had a shot last week, but the defense didn't get it done in the 4th. He had 3 touchdowns, but he didn't. But then again, when you go 3-and-out 3 straight times, then you get a 4th quarter touchdown. Like, yeah, that was a great drive, but then you have to rely on your defense to get another stop. They didn't do it. So your margin for error is very slim when you go 3-and-out 3 straight times in the 3rd quarter. So that's on him. That's on the coach. So,
absolutely.
Yep.
Now we got the Steelers on the road at Bills, Buffalo. There's a no-brainer one. Kenny Pickett, the Steelers got him in the game, and I believe he's going to be the starter moving forward. I think, the team rallied behind him very well against the Jets last week, which, they unfortunately lost, but he played decent, the few times, few snaps that he was in. So having him for a full game is going to be good, but unfortunately he's against one of the best teams in the league, and the Bills and Josh Allen are rolling. All they're actually missing is a solid running back. They throwing the ball like 45, 50 times. That's not gonna get it done sometimes in the playoffs. In bad conditions and bad weathers and things like that. So if they get the run game going, they're about to be blowing teams out. But this Sunday, I definitely got them beating the Steelers by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. That was a impressive comeback, down 20-3 on the road against the Ravens. They do have issues in the running game, but their defense, Josh Allen throwing and rushing the ball, has been top notch. And I definitely think that, Steelers, I thought they had it last week, but the Jets came back. More power to them. But I think that the Bills are just a better overall team right now. Again, they might have 1 or 2 turnovers, but they'll make up for it and then some. So I see the Bills putting up 30 again, something around there, and pulling this one out. And that was the first close game the Bills have won in a while, by the way. They've been losing a lot of close games, so it was good to see them pull that one out.
For sure. And we got a divisional game. We got the Bears on the road at Vikings. Who do you got winning this one?
I'm going to go with the Vikings in a close one. That was a wild game in London. You see that?
It was.
That was a wild game. Prime time, early morning breakfast. Kirk Cousins came through, led the game-winning drive, got the field goal, and then the Saints just missed one. So that was a cool game. But Yeah, I think the Vikings have a pretty good team. Jefferson and that again, another big game for him. That defense is very good, so I'm gonna trust the Vikings in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm going with the Vikings. I think they're gonna keep leading the division. They could potentially win that division this year. Rodgers, like I said, he's on a slight decline. Not himself, but his team as a whole unit. So I think the Vikings, have an opportunity to capitalize on divisional wins this week, and they're gonna take this one easy against the Bears. And now we got the Giants, 3-1 on the road against Packers, 3-1 as well. The Giants are one of the few teams 3-1s that I'm like, yeah, 3-1, but you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? But personally, I'm going with the Packers. I think Rodgers is the better quarterback. Usually close games like this, close in a sense that because they're both 3-1, but I don't think talent-wise they're close at all. I think Green Bay is a better team. Offensively, if you have a guy like Matt LaFleur, I'm calling plays and Aaron Rodgers behind that rock. I'm gonna give him the nods and have him winning this one against the Giants in a close one actually, because Rodgers knows how to play very slow against teams that are not very high-powered offenses.
Well, who's the Giants quarterback this week?
Daniel Jones might start
because Tyrod's hurt, right?
Yeah, and Jones was hurt, but he's limited in practice, so I think he's gonna be good to go.
All right. Well, if Jones goes and they get back to that running game with Saquon, and the Giants seem to have a solid defense, it seemed like they control the line of scrimmage pretty well on offense. We saw what New England did last week. They were a couple plays away from winning that game in Green Bay, and this one I believe is in London, right?
Yeah,
it's London. This is a London game. I'm picking the Packers, but I would not be shocked if the Giants won. I'm picking the Packers though.
I'm picking the Packers in a close one myself.
Yeah, but again, the Giants are 3-1. I think that they can grind out. They continue this and they stay healthy, and Barkley, God willing, stays healthy. They could grind out 8, 9, 10 wins. But again, I just think without the dynamic player at the quarterback position, it's going to be tough for them to really excel into the double digits. And with Green Bay, man, I think you had said months ago, maybe OBJ to the Packers. Just wanted to bring that up, man. Hey, that's what they're missing. They lost Devontae. That will help Rodgers get back to that level.
Absolutely.
Maybe down the road, but I heard they communicate, so that would be a smart move. I don't know if Odell wants to play in the cold.
OBJ is a huge fan of Rodgers himself too, so I could see that definitely happening. He's not healthy quite, but if he is mid-season, they could definitely use him, and postseason as well too, for sure. That veteran experience.
He was the MVP that first half of that Super Bowl. He was awesome. Until that unfortunate injury. But by the way, last time he played in Green Bay, he had a little case of the dropsies. I don't know how much he likes the cold. So
we'll see.
Giant fans remember that well.
Odell could do it, but we don't know how he's going to be after that injury anyway. So
I hope he comes back well.
I hope he's still back to that same Odell Beckham that we know him to be. That Mr. One Hand leap, grab that, But anyway, moving forward, we got the Dolphins on the road against the Jets. I personally got the Dolphins winning this one. Actually, you know what? I take the Jets. I take the Jets on this one. I forgot Tua is out.
They got Teddy.
I think he might have passed the. You know what? Let me not. I don't. He's out. Due to concussion protocols. I think they said he was okay. But I think the coaches are still gonna wait to make a good decision on when to return, because I think he left the field a little bit shaky. Not a little bit. The whole world saw what happened to him. That was very valiant. But we got to see. Wait and see what the Dolphins. Medical staff come out to say the coaches and everything like that. But for now, we know he's out week 5 and indefinitely. So he could be back in 2 weeks. He could be back in 3. He could be back in playoffs. We don't know that yet. But I'm going with the Jets because right now they got their quarterback back, and they're happy to keep rolling. The Dolphins need to figure a couple of things out. I'm confident in the Jets. One of these toss-up games.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I really like the way the Jets finished off the Steelers. Zach Wilson looked good, clutch. And they're home, riding that high. I'm gonna go with the Jets. Miami. Listen, I like their overall team. Hill's been making a difference. Tua, we talked about it last week before the game. We were like, hey, he might have had a concussion the prior week. I'm not sure if they're related. It's probable that they were, but we don't know. Listen, like Tua, I appreciate him. He's accurate. He's a tough-nosed player, very valiant, but he has an injury issue. Like he had the hip issue, he had other issues in college, and this is just latest in a long line, unfortunately. And I just hope he is able to make a full recovery and comes back at the right time because, like a lot of these things are just genetic and a lot of these things is just random and unfortunate. And with Tua, it just seems like both. So, I was excited to watch him, especially the 6 touchdown game. Early on, and so it's kind of very unfortunate that he's not playing right now. Because I was really looking forward to.
Unfortunate. I wish him nothing but the best.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Huh?
I'm gonna go with the Jets. Okay. I don't regret this.
I see what you're doing. You keep following on my lead. I get it.
Fine, I'll go first this time. Go.
Now, you could go first. Cowboys versus Rams. Who you got?
It's in L.A.
L.A.
Carly is not cool with she's like the Chargers and the Rams play in the same stadium. They get the same LA and their logos look too similar. So she's not very happy about this. But either way, how can I go against Dallas, man? They've been rolling. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think Eli Stafford has a comeback game here. He's only got 4 touchdowns, 6 picks passing this year. I think he is due for a good game because he's not that awful. So I'm going to go with the Rams and a bounce back here.
Like you hit it right on the nail. If you think about it, Matthew Stafford, that's not what everybody expects of him. They expect more from him, and more from Sean McVay as well. Honestly, it's their run game. Their run game is not doing well. They had 57 yards total. Cam Akers and Henderson, they can't run the ball.
Second round draft pick. Great.
They need help with that. Until they figure that out, Matthew Stafford is not going to beat every team with his arm. You got to mix it up for him. He's not that same young Matthew Stafford throwing that ball to Megatron. I think he's still that good, but defenses and teams are better now. If we realize you're one-dimensional, it's easier to, defend you, but when you can switch things up, it makes it a little bit easier. They have no run game right now. Akers, my girl has him on one of her fantasy teams and he's not doing anything. So, and I know you do as well.
Who?
He's killing you as well, Cam Akers. So.
I'm going to bench him. Yo,
I told you need a new quarterback and a running back. Russell Wilson is not doing you any good as well. But
bro, I should be 4-0.
You learn one day.
Me.
You learn. Just look at my record. You maybe I know what I'm talking about. You feel me? But
you're bound to have
I'm going
with
the Rams as well. I think they need that comeback game. The Dallas defense is very good. I think the Rams win this one in a very, very close one as well.
Yeah, Dallas's defense is balling, and Cooper Rush, I think he's just due for a loss, quite honestly. And the other thing is the pass protection has not been very good at all. It's part of it is because the run game is not working. So this is an offensive line issue. They're getting into 3rd and long. They're teeing off on Stafford and Andrew Whitworth, who retired last year. I think they really missed him.
Yeah,
So
they do.
he's
They
an older
definitely
dude, but
miss him.
he stabilized that line, and I think that's one of the biggest things right now. You need that offensive line, man. That's the
You definitely do. You definitely do. All right, now we got the Chargers on the road against the Browns. I'm going with the Chargers because I trust Justin Herbert and the LA offense. I think, Eckler getting those 3 touchdowns, he's going to be back in a rhythm. I have him on my fantasy team. He hasn't been much. He's been putting up, good numbers, but touchdown wise, knowing what he did last year, he hasn't done much, but last week he
better than
had three.
Akers.
Better than Akers, you damn right. Better than Akers, but he still, could be better. He still could be better. And I think that, now they're gonna be on a road. They're gonna trust putting that ball in his hands and for him to make, those playmaking things that he's usually capable of doing. Amari Cooper had a terrible game last week. The Browns couldn't, figure it out. I think they're gonna, have a little bit of a slump right now. And I think, against teams like Chargers, the Chargers are just gonna come in and take it. They got a tougher division. They need to, stay neck to neck with the Chiefs if they try to make the playoffs this year and not miss like they did barely last year as well, too. So yeah, I'm going with the Chargers with this one. I don't even think it's gonna be a close one, but Chargers takes this win. Who do you got?
I went back and forth on this one. I really like the way the Browns defense is playing. I think they're running the ball real well with Chubb and Hunt. Brissett's doing just enough. And that Chargers loss to Jacksonville kind of scared me, even though it's a couple weeks in the rear view. But I'm going to go with the Chargers in a close one here. I do trust Herbert. I wonder what the spread is on this game, but this was a tougher one than I thought about this for a while earlier. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers for all the reasons you said. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns won.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Tennessee on the road against the Washington Commanders?
I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Titans.
Yeah. I picked against them last week. I regret it. Commanders haven't shown me enough. Wentz takes too many sacks. He's not producing at the level that they had hoped. Obviously, I know they have some talent on that team, but I'm going to go with Henry and then Vrabel on that defense. The way they're playing right now, I trust them more than Washington.
Absolutely. One thing about Washington right now is Carson Wentz is not playing very well, so it's hard, they've had good defenses, the defense was a solid game 1, game 2, but they're falling apart because, they're turning the ball a lot, and now the defense is on the field way more than, they should be. So now they're tired, teams are running through them, even though the Eagles are really good, they still only put up about 24 points. If you look at it, their defense is still, not bad, but they just need Wentz to play a little bit better. They have some good receiving core as well, but and Johan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, what's it called? Curtis Samuel, all these guys can make huge plays, but Wentz need to get, he needs to find a way of getting that ball to them and stop holding the ball longer, throw it out, instead of taking that long sack, he's putting them in tough situations. Their run game is not the best as well right now as well too. So that's something that's, really hurting them. But I'm going to go with the Titans with this one in a close one as well, because I think they want to take care of business in that division that they're in. It could be ugly if Jacksonville gets another win on them, so they need to try and close things out. I'm gonna go with Tennessee on this one. And now we got the Hawks on the road against the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Hawks in this one. Gino is playing good. The Seahawks offense, their run, offense, the team is playing amazing. On defense, anybody could score, they're like, what, score, we're just gonna come back on offense and see what we got. So The Saints right now, they can't really score. It's been it's a little bit hard for them to score right now. So I could actually see the Hawks, finding a way to, score more than the Saints. It's gonna come down to who scores more, not who stops who, because both teams' defenses, the Saints have a better defense, but they're not playing like it, offensively. So sometimes when the offense is so bad and it's off from what we know it to be, it makes the defense fall off a little bit as well. Guys like Kamara need to step it up. He's been questionable. Michael Thomas been hurt a little bit. They're a little bit banged up. So I think, there's a position where the Hawks can, steamroll, get right past them, and then, roll to the next week. I'm going with the Hawks on this one.
Is Jameis playing?
Not sure yet. That he's hurt as well, so it's a toss-up. It could be him, could be Dalton. Not sure yet.
Firstly, Seattle is playing. Well, they had a great week on offense. I don't know whether that was them executing or Detroit just giving up 1,000 points to everybody. But Geno looked great. He had a great game last week. Rashard Penny, who I almost drafted and should have drafted, he looked explosive now that he's finally healthy. I saw some glimpses of that last year. So that Seattle offense has looked very good the last couple of weeks. So I am bordering on picking them, but then I just have a feeling about the Saints this week. I just think this is a big bounce back game for them. I think Seattle is riding high. I think they got a good shot, but I'm going to go with the Saints in a close one at home after that tough, field goal that hit the post in the crossbar. And, Dalton made some clutch plays in that game. I just think they rally and get this one game. So yeah, I do think absolutely Seattle could win, but I'm going to go with the Saints in this one.
Awesome. Now we got the 49ers on the road against the Panthers. I picked against them last week. Every time I pick against them, they win. But this week, I'm going to be right and pick them to win against the Panthers simply because the Panthers offense isn't, anything crazy, they're average at best, right? With Christian McCaffrey still making good plays. So at best with Baker Mayfield, they're average. The 49ers best thing about them is their defense, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Kings, they can make plays after catches. That's something, you don't have to worry about. But we know that defense is clicking early in the season, which is key. And I think they're gonna, just squeeze Baker Mayfield and Christian McCaffrey and get that ball from them early in the game and just finish it out quick. I think the Niners win this one in a close one as well. On the road, I think Jimmy throws a couple of picks, but we still win this one in a good fashion way. The Niners way.
I'm going to go with the Niners. I picked them last week.
Picking us lately. Everything all right?
Yeah, listen, I picked them. You picked them against the Broncos. You were wrong. Then you picked the Rams, and I was like, no, the Niners got this. We know the Niners own the Rams. All right. So I'm going to go with the Niners again. I think Jimmy G looked a little bit better. He didn't, run out of the back of the end zone last week. And again, that defense is nasty. The Panthers' offense did not look good against the Cardinals at all. So I think it's going to be a close one. I think, Baker and them guys and McCaffrey are not going to play quite as bad, but I do trust the Niners to win this game. Their defense has been, top 5 in the league. So
for sure.
But everything's all right. I pick who I think is going to win, even if it's got to be your boys.
All right, now we got a couple of divisional games. We got the Texans on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do you got?
Jaguars. They are up early against the Eagles. And then the Eagles stormed back and just smoked them. By the way, before we talk about the Ravens, the Eagles were up by 8 with like a few minutes left, and they go for it. Just kick the chip field goal and go up 2 possessions. Man, I am the most aggressive dude. When I'm watching games, I always want to go for it on 4th down. But when you got guaranteed points, It's like, just take them.
Take it.
When it's guaranteed and it makes the other team
Take it.
And it's a defensive game basically for that second half. It's like, just take it, and instead of, I don't know. I think we've gone overboard with the analytics on fourth down, and I never thought I would have said that. But either way, the Jaguars hung tight in that game. They had a bad second half, but I do have faith in them. The Texans' defense has been pretty good. They hang tight in games, but there's nothing really distinguishable about the Texans. I think the Jaguars have more talent at the key positions. And, I'm just going to pick them, especially because they're home as well. So
nice. I'm going with the Jaguars as well. I think Doug Peterson is doing a great job down there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence looks more comfortable than previous years. So I think I'm going with them. They're running the ball a lot better. Their defense is clicking. I think they're going to win that division. I called them early this year, to be one of those teams on the rise. And, they're holding my prediction, making me look good right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely rolling with the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Texans this week. And then we got the Lions on the road against the Patriots. Mac Jones' day-to-day, he might play, or it might be the rookie quarterback. I think Brian Hoyer is out.
Patriots in a close one. I've been picking the Lions lately, and they've been screwing me.
I'm gonna go with the Lions one more time. I know they screwed me, but if there's a week where the Lions are gonna make me look right, this is the week. Come on now, they're still. I think Lions is one of the teams that they're playing very well, but if you look at the record, it's not really telling the truth about what's going on in that organization. And I think they're not, like I said, they're not gonna be the worst team in the league. So I'm giving the Lions a close
high praise
with the Patriots.
You're gonna not be the 32nd team. Good job.
Huh?
Nothing. I'm like, high praise for the Lions you got. You're like, hey, they're not going to be 32.
They're not going to be the worst team in the league. I told you that.
Neither are the Seahawks, which I picked last week. So my bad. My bad, Pete. I was wrong. But yo,
you were wrong. You were big time, Russ. They showing you they're better without Russ right now. They needed Pete, not Russ.
Okay.
I'm just saying what the fans are saying. You were once a fan, but your boys rolling with them.
Fans are very fickle, and social media makes us overreact to everything and very emotional. So it's okay. We'll see who's right in the long run.
In the long run is what matters, in absolutely. The long run. But I will tell you something. If the Seattle Seahawks end up having a better record than the Denver Broncos, I am gonna lose my shit.
Hey,
it's just at that point hilarious. You're like, come on now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be a poetic justice to the Seattle fans. But
at that point, you gotta admit the Seattle Seahawks won the trade.
Right, but what happens if the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl in a couple of years? Then who won the trade? So it's a year by year
if
thing.
They still have Russell Wilson, if they win with Russ,
let's not overreact here.
If they still win with Russ, I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, you're right. But here's my point, right? They gave him a couple of first-round draft picks, so now they have that, the opportunity to draft playmaking guys onto the team, and they still have, the guys that they gave him. So it's a close one right now. It's looking like, Denver is happy with, who they have. Seattle's happy with not paying Russell Wilson all that money and giving him all that money.
Yeah,
and
the money thing is
I think it's worked out for both teams. Yeah. If you look at it, it's working out for both teams. But I think Seattle is working out better for them because it's like, hey, we won with a cheap Geno and we're in this situation. We'll take it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's all good. And that's they can have their 4 games and maybe it continues. Maybe it happens this year, but doesn't change the fact that Russ was better at his job the last few years than Mr. Carroll. But we digress. The Lions lead the league in scoring. Okay? They put up, 45 last week against Seattle. So they lead the league in scoring, but they always find a way to lose close games. So I'm going to go with New England and Belichick. I think they figure out a way to get this game. Hopefully, Mac Jones is healthy, but I just have a feeling about this one. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about the Eagles on the road at Cardinals, the only 4-0 team.
Ooh, Eagles at Cardinals.
Yeah.
Eagles in a close one.
Okay. Okay.
Eagles.
I could see that happening for sure. But
Yeah. I just
I,
don't. Kyler Murray just can't put together 4 quarters. Put together 4 quarters. Like I mean, he's a very good player, but I just trust the Eagles over the course of the game. They might get behind, like we saw against Jacksonville, but they're going to come back, and they're just going to stay consistent, stay grinding, and Jalen Hurts is very accurate. He's playing well. He's running well. They got the rushing attack. They got strong defense, as we know. So I'm going to pick the Eagles in a dogfight over the Cardinals.
nice. I think I'm gonna go with the Cardinals on this one, simply because they've been doubted a lot this year because again, Kyler Murray is not playing very, very well. Cliff Kingsbury, he got to look back and be like, hey, let's get back to the drawing board, run the ball well, make some plays, some read option plays for Kyler Murray. Keep the defense very disciplined. I think right now they're forcing him to just stay in the pocket and make things happen way too much.
Yeah.
Just like Kaepernick back in the day. When if that's what he's good at, capitalize on it. And I think they're not capitalizing on it too much. I think they should just get back on it, just like the Ravens. Run some read option plays, play actions. Put him in a situation where he can move around the pocket and do these things that we know him to do better than most of the guys in the NFL. I'm going with the Cardinals because they're due for that one game that okay, yeah, this is the kind of Cardinals that we remember them to be. I think this is the game. And if it's gonna be against any team, it's gotta be against one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the league right now, and the Eagles right now. And again, the Eagles are 4-0, they're due for a loss. This could be it right here. Last year, how they came back against Jacksonville, I think it seemed like the Cardinals, if they're down like this, the Cardinals could maintain the lead and beat them. So I think if that sluggish start happens with the Eagles, they're gonna lose this game, and I'm just gonna confidently go with the Cardinals in a very, very close one.
Now I could see that, but I could also see the Eagles outscoring. That's the thing about the Eagles. Seems like they can outscore a team or they can win ugly. So
Yeah.
but I definitely think it's going to be a close one. So could definitely go either way.
All right, and now we got another divisional game. Falcons on the road against the Bucks. Who do you got?
The Bucks.
The Bucks.
Falcons have been valiant, but I'm going to go with Mr. Brady, who had a slow start against the Chiefs, but he came on strong. Had a very strong overall game. It was just a little bit too late against the powerhouse of the Chiefs. But I do trust, the Bucks, and the Bucks do have a very good defense. They just got lit up like a Christmas tree by Mahomes. So it just happens sometimes. I think the Bucks bounce back. I think they're going to be angry. I think they're going to get this W.
Nice. I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. I think they're gonna win that division. So every divisional game is gonna really matter to them. I think that's how they're gonna with how they're playing with a lot of injuries, suspensions, and all of that going on down in Tampa. That's how they gotta win it. Just start with the divisional games, make it a priority, win all divisional games, win the division, and then make it to the playoffs and grind one out. They're only gonna get better, with the likes like Julio Jones, being hurt. I think he's gonna play every other game at best, with his age and his injury prone that we know him to be. I think Godwin coming back is gonna help Mike Evans coming back from suspension as well. They need that. They're gonna get back at it. Like you said, it was just happened to be that they won against one of the best teams in the league, and if not the best player in the league right now too. So unfortunately, things didn't go their way, but I think it will this week, and I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. And then on Sunday now we have another divisional games. We have the Bengals on the road against the Ravens. I have the Ravens winning this one. I think Lamar needs this win. Not needs it. Baltimore needs it as well. But I think Lamar is gonna put a stamp on it, especially for how Bengals beat them last year. I think this year is going to be one of those games that, hey, we get it, Joe Burrow. You're new. This team is great. You guys look good. But Baltimore runs this division as we speak. So I think Lamar got to put that stamp on it and let him know who runs that division. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday night, prime time.
Tough call. It was a great game. Bengals have played better lately since we were calling them out for their 0-2 start. Burrow has played better. Whole team has played better. The Ravens, they blew another lead. They're not holding on to leads well. So they blew that lead to Tua and Miami the fourth quarter, where they gave a bunch of touchdowns. So obviously Lamar put up the points, but he wasn't able to close out in the fourth. And then Lamar just did not have a good game against the Bills. And I got to talk about that fourth down call. I haven't listened to any national news about it, but here's the way I look at it. It's 20-20, 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, and you're at the Bills' 2-yard line, right? I know the Bills have a nasty offense, but you're at the 2-yard line. If you go for a touchdown, you don't get it, you back that team up at the 2, right? Or you kick the field goal, and then now a field goal ties it, goes into overtime, or they can come down and take the lead, but maybe there's time left and you can come back, right? So I saw the ESPN probability index said, hey, you have a 73% chance of winning the game if you go for it, and a 70% chance if you kick the field goal. But what that doesn't take into account, that's where analytics can go wrong, and I love analytics, but that's where it goes wrong, bro. If that 73% is banking on them not getting it from the 2, I don't know if it's banking on, Lamar throws a pick in the end zone, now they get the ball 25. So that touchback was huge. Now it just moves them out 20 yards. And again, I understand he was just trying to make a play, and I love the aggressiveness. I've called this out for the last few years that I love the way Harbaugh and Lamar just go for it. They went for it 4th and 1 at their own 34. They went for it. They don't care where they are. They have confidence in Lamar's size, in that line, in his abilities. I love that overall, but I think there's a balance, and that I think they just overdid it. I think you always want to, like, you play blackjack. We play blackjack sometimes. I'm like, hey, you got to be consistent, but sometimes that dealer's got a certain hand. It's like, nah, let's just sit on this one. Let's not screw this up. The dealer's showing a 5 or 6. Let's chill. Usually you would go for it, but no. This one we got to chill. So just wanted to call that out. All that being said, I think Lamar is a bounce-back game here. He wants to restate his claim, like you said, in the division to the MVP. And I think it's going to be a close game. But I do have the Ravens coming out on top in the fourth quarter.
Nice. Same here. And now the last game, the Raiders on the road against the Chiefs Monday night. I got the Chiefs winning this one, winning by big. I know it's a divisional game. The Raiders and the Chargers always play very good against the Chiefs, but Mahomes is done playing games with everybody. He's thrown touchdowns to many people than anybody in the league this year. He doesn't have a favorite guy no more. Kelsey is still his, security blanket. But he doesn't need to throw touchdowns to him. He's sharing the ball to everybody, and their offense is even better than we've seen him to be. I think Mahomes only got better, if you ask me. With not having Tyreek Hill, I think he got challenged and doubted, and he's taking that very personally. Teams like Raiders, just step aside, take this whooping, and then move on. Not on, there's levels to it, and Raiders not on that level. I don't think, with the likes of Derek Carr. Last week, don't get me wrong, they played amazing. Their defense stepped up. They were what they've been paying the guys on there to be.
Their edge rushers were nasty.
Yeah, and their running back, he had an amazing game.
Sealed the game in the fourth.
Josh Jacobs, they just got to, keep it together and roll out again. But again, it's going to be against one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team and the best player. So I'll give the Chiefs the crown on this one. Going to be an easy one.
Okay, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think that the Raiders on both sides of the ball last week and even earlier in the year, they've shown especially glimpses of having a dominant offensive and defensive line. Derek Carr, we know, we both feel he's slightly above average, but he seems to show
Now,
up.
you think he's slightly above average? I don't think so.
I think he's in the 11 to 15 range, or maybe closer to
15
15.
range, 15 to 20.
Well, unlike Kirk Cousins, we still love you, Kirk, but I think he shows up in primetime games. I think Carr, I've seen it over the past. He seems to show out on these Monday night games, Sunday night. So I think that he's going to come to play. He's going to make some nice plays, some clutch action in the fourth. And I think they're going to push the Chiefs, but I do think the Chiefs are going to win the game. Like you said, Mahomes, I mean, I looked at his stats. He's completed like 66% of his passes every year, like clockwork. I mean, the touchdowns vary, but in general, he's got, 30, 40, 50 touchdowns, 4 times as many touchdowns as picks. Tyreek Hill, yeah, they miss his deep threat. But again, Mahomes is his own deep threat because of his ability to throw the ball so far and his ability to get outside and make plays like he made in that Tampa Bay game. He made a few wizard plays. That one touchdown pass near the goal line was amazing. So, you like you said, he's only getting better. He's only getting more mature. I love his demeanor on the field. Him and Josh Allen and Lamar, of course, those three-man race right now for MVP. And I think Mahomes wants it. I think he heard the noise in the offseason. He's just a competitive dude, but I do not think this game is going to be easy. I think that it is going to be a tough one, but I think they grind it out.
Nice. All right, now before we get into our next topic, let's talk about Carly's picks. Let me hear them.
Okay, let's see. Got him up over here. All right. She's got, of course, the Colts, Packers, Bills, Browns, Vikings, Lions, Saints, Jets, Bucks, Titans, Jags, 49ers, of course, Rams, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs.
Ravens and Chiefs, good. Similar, quite a few off, but
she was trying to pick my brain. I was like, no, you pick who you want.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about some of the best divisions in football. What are some of the divisions that are doing really well, and what do you think is the best division in football as we speak?
I mean, it's up for grabs right now. I mean, I would go with the AFC East just because of the Bills. The Bills are a dominant team. They're, top 3 team in the league. And you got Miami. We'll have to see what happens with that quarterback position. But you got Miami as a team that's on the rise. The Jets are looking solid, and the Patriots are looking solid. Now that I just said that out loud, I'm not sure if I agree with myself. But as of right now, I'd say the AFC East. But going forward, I still think that it's going to be the AFC West. Because I think the Chargers and Broncos turn it around and the Chiefs are a juggernaut. And I think the Raiders, as much as you may want them to, they're not out of it. They could be 1-4 and turn around and win, get up to 9 wins. So I still think those are the most 4 compact teams, like 1 great team and then 3 pretty good to very good teams, possibly going forward. But and complete apologies to the NFC East, which is dominating, and the NFC West, which has some horses. But I don't know, man. It's really hard. Those are my 2 picks right now, but we'll see how that ages.
I think right now, personally, the NFC East is playing tremendous. Eagles are amazing. The Cowboys defense look really, really good. Cooper Rush is keeping them together. I actually thought they were about to go 0-6 without Dak. But their defense has stepped up. Micah Parsons is amazing. That guy is everywhere on the field, Diggs finally started getting some picks as well, so their defense has started, put some things together. Eagles, Cowboys. The Giants are 3-1. Eagles are 4-0. Cowboys are 3-1. Record wise, they look good.
They're 3-1. The
But
Cowboys. I forgot about that.
come again.
Cowboys are 3-1.
Yeah, they're rolling. They don't need Dak. This is what they saying. They don't need Dak, which they have
And
a great
Washington just drags
situation.
that division down. Maybe that's why I'm excluding them.
They claim they don't need Dak, bro. So we'll see. And the Giants are playing good football right now, 3-1. Even though I don't think they're gonna do much. But I also actually honestly think that the NFC West is the best division. NFC East is playing amazing, but NFC West is the best division. Everybody's 2-2 in that division. As you can see, when they play each other, it's always a bloodbath. But I do think that at least 2 to 3 teams are always gonna come out of that division. We have for playoffs, 3 teams last year, and the 49ers, Rams, and the Cardinals, which I think they're gonna repeat themselves this season and be the best division by producing 3 playoff teams as well.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals, like I said, they're not starting off right, but they can turn things around for sure. And make it happen.
Yeah, NFC East definitely has the best records at this point. But yeah, just something about the AFC East. I think that I guess it just depends on that Miami situation. The quarterback situation makes me question myself a little bit. But I'll roll with that for now. I think that the Jets. Let's see the Jets, man, because the Jets are they're on a rise. They're winning games.
They are on the rise. But I think after this week, I'll be getting back to winning ways and closing that gap that me and Carly got behind you. I'm gonna lift her. We're gonna get past you by week 7.
I'm glad I could be
I
the
can't wait to
standard
play
bearer.
you in a fantasy football as well in a couple of weeks. You gotta let them know how my girlfriend whooped your ass as well too.
Well, I
all
mean,
good.
these are players playing. We're not actually playing, so I
We
think
make the picks. We
the
make the
picks
picks,
are
Mike.
actually
We
more
make the
important.
picks.
These picks are more important.
We make
because
the picks. Both picks
we
are
pick
more
players.
important.
I can't control their injuries, man.
Hey, guess what? But that's why you are like a general manager. You got to make things happen, right? You got to make
Yeah.
trades. You gotta stop being a fan and let some of the players go. Sometimes you might need a quarterback. Right now, I'm telling you, you do need a quarterback. You got to
Quarterback wasn't the problem last week.
That wasn't for
Problem
one.
last week was Akers.
Out of 4 weeks, Russ been the problem 3
He
times.
was a problem one time. He cost me 1 week. He did. He cost me week 3.
He costed you costed you that one game. But both games, he's shown that, 11 to 15 points ain't
Not
enough,
enough.
brother.
Week
Ain't
1 was
enough. Get on
fine.
this
Week
side.
1
Get on
was
this side.
fine.
Let me know if you want to make a trade happen. I got Justin Herbert on my bench. You can have him for some.
Me injury prone, bro. I don't know.
He's still,
He's a trade.
produces when
He's
he's
toughing it
around.
out. He's toughing it out. I like him.
When he's around, he plays. You know what I mean?
He didn't play too well against Jacksonville.
But good luck with your picks this week, even though, we can all tell how you try to copy me.
Yeah, we'll see.
At the end of the day.
Why would I copy an inferior picker? And don't make any sense.
It makes a lot of sense, Mike.
Yeah. You want me to copy you like Kobe tried to copy Jordan?
Nah, Kobe didn't try to copy Jordan. See, that's where you make the mistake.
He tried. He
Kobe
stole
copied Jordan.
Stole
He
his jump
copied him. He
shots.
just did it better. You know what I'm saying?
He did what better? Take
He
bad shots.
copied him
better?
and did it better.
How
Only
dare you.
thing is Michael Jordan was more efficient. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this.
Better. What Kobe do better than Jordan besides hit bad shots? How dare you?
His moves. He stole his moves and made it even better. He took harder shots and
Correct.
made them.
But he took worse shots, which is not
He
good.
took more shots because he wasn't in a better situation than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was in a better situation.
He was too much being Brett Favre out there, man. He's taking too many risks.
Nah, he was just, Jordan was just in a more disciplined system, more disciplined players,
He's a more disciplined
players
player.
that played role players that knew their roles, that accepted their role, and everybody knew that he's the dog, the alpha. Kobe had moments and instances where his teammates, some didn't even like him. Michael, even if you didn't like him, you had to understand that we got to go to work with him. This man just want to win. Simple, you know?
Yeah, Shaq would have
We'll save that debate for another day, Michael.
Shaq would have fell in line.
NBA season is coming up, so can't wait to start talking about that in the next week as well, too. Okay. But with that being said, like I said, good luck to your picks. Great episode today as well. Week 5 picks. I want to see that 15-0 coming up 16-0. Okay.
I'll take a 14-2. I'd be okay with that.
I could see me doing 13-3, 14-2 as well. You trying to be like, I got the high, this year still at 12-4. I don't think anybody will top that. I think it will be 12-4. If anybody's going to top that, it's going to be me. But right now, I'm not looking to break my own record.
We appreciate you having the confidence of Kobe taking a 20-foot 2-point shot over 2 players. That's good. We appreciate your confidence.
That was him, man. That was him.
I'm open, Kobe. I'm open. I'm in the corner. I'm open.
Nah, he don't see you.
Nah, he's the hoop.
He don't see you. There's a better chance of Kobe making it over 2 guys than me making it in the corner by myself, and that's a fact.
Man, we ain't Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, let the men take these shots.
All right.
Anyway, great episode, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get with you guys next week again. Raw Sports Debate brought to you by myself, Leslie, and my co-host, Michael Steven. Have a great one, everybody.
Peace out. Go eat.
Hell yeah, baby.